All right. There's some people. Let's see if we got some audio. Can you hear me, Mrs. Johnson?
Hey, I can hear you. How are you?
All right. All right. Good. Good. Just want to make sure your volume is good. What's going on, world? Victor Vanico Johnson here. You know, I'm usually hanging out with my homegirl, Laquita Monley. She's running around making sure her son gets into one of the finest universities so he can be a student athlete. But I was fortunate. I searched far and wide. I was looking for a guest to fill the seat, and I was able to run into somebody y'all might know out there, the beautiful, the lovely Latasha Johnson, my wife. How are you, young lady?
I am wonderful. How are you guys doing out there? Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great start to your week, to your month. What's going on, Mr. VJ?
What's
Thank you
up?
for
What's
having
up?
me.
No problem. This is a complete honor. I'm super happy and elated to be able to sit in this chair with you and hang out on Create Your Future Self Live. So if you're out there, please like, share, comment. We're going to share a little bit of our story today about our journey. You know, I know there's a lot of young couples out there that are looking to, you know, advance themselves financially, move their families into better situations, be in a position to start building a legacy, something that you can kind of pass down to your family and friends. So let us know if you can hear us out there. Stephanie Liggins, thank you so much for jumping in. You say you can hear us. Awesome. This is too cool. So this is the first time I have a chance to do an interview. Well, it's not even an interview. We're just going to talk, right? We're just going to talk. So Latasha Johnson, for the folks out there in Create Your Future Self Live world, tell them who you are, what you do. Just tell the people about yourself.
Well, hey, you guys. My name is Latasha Johnson. I am a realtor. I've been in the business for about 2 years, and we've been investing in real estate for the past 5 years. So we tested the waters back in 2015 with our first investment property. So that's a little bit about me. Prior to getting into real estate, I have worked for the courts. I have worked for law firms as well. So I know a little bit about the legal industry. I'm not an attorney, but I do know a lot.
Enough to be dangerous. Understood.
Right.
Nice. Good. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the journey, some of the obstacles, I guess, that we ran into and we were able to overcome so that we could begin to start investing in real estate. With Create Your Future Self Live, we're always talking to entrepreneurs and aspiring, you know, real estate investors and people out there that are looking to become, you know, independent, that want to create their own future self, that want to start generating passive income and things like that. So I want to kind of take our journey back to, you know, so we were living in Atlanta, Georgia. It was probably 2007. We started dating. We were both working at a law firm. I was a call center manager. She was working on the legal team. And a lot of our people on the Facebook world, they knew us. We were working together at a company called Man Bracken in the late 2000s. And then that company just shut the doors, just out of nowhere, laid off. I want you to talk about your experience because you got laid off maybe 2-3 months before us. I didn't even see it coming that it was going to hit management and stuff like that on my call center side. So let's talk about that life because a lot of people have just lost their jobs in 2020. And so just talk about how you were feeling at that time.
Well, I just remember them, us having a meeting. They called us in and said, hey, this week will be your last week. If you guys want to, go to the call center side, you can just let us know. But yeah, please be prepared to make your exit at the end of this week. Wow. So, and I remember telling you, I was like, I remember coming to you, I think maybe a few weeks before, and I came to you and said, hey, look, I think some stuff is about to go down with the company. I saw some bank statements in the conference room, and the bank statements did not look good. So, and I just remember coming to you saying, I think it's about to go down. You were like, no, I think you're just overreacting. I don't think anything is happening, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, well, we're going to see. So after that week, I remember telling you that they were behind on like the mortgage, the rent payments or something. Anyway, I found out some information about that company, and it was just not good. So, so after we got laid off, it was different. I remember just, it was just a different feel. And that, when was that? That was what, 2000?
That was 2009. I think I was like
2009.
summer, maybe around this time, maybe September 2009 when you got laid off from
That was,
there. And
yeah,
then 2 months later, again, I thought, well, they just trimmed down. They did all the cuts they're going to make. Hopefully I'll still be working and whatnot. And then lo and behold, I go in and I always tell the story like it was a gloomy Tuesday afternoon. It was raining and it just didn't feel good walking in there. And they was like, oh, hey, Victor, go grab your peer manager and we got to have a quick meeting. Myself and Eric Moore at the time, we were managing the call center floors and got pulled in. And they were like, look, this is it. This is the last day. Pretty much we're shutting everything down. Thank you so much for your service. Oh, by the way, there's no severance check, and we'll mail you your vacation hours. And I know you remember being 38 hot. Well, I lost about 100 hours of vacation hours. And see, that's why people, when you're out here working for these companies and you're accumulating vacation time, use your time. Use your time. Because
right.
one, it's great for your mental health. But two, if something happens with the company, you might not get those hours paid out to you. So that's something I always encourage people to do.
Well, I was fortunate to get a severance package and my vacation and sick time, but then when that next cut came, they just cut you guys out. So that was very unfortunate. But,
very unfortunate.
Yeah. So after that, I think it took me a while to find another job. It took me about 6 months to really find a full-time job. I know for you, it didn't take that long.
But, we got to talk about that because that was a huge transition for not only me and you, but our household. The kids were there at the house with us, the teenagers. And, one of the things I remember is that I didn't immediately get work. It was maybe a month later. And I do remember applying for food stamps, getting food stamps, put on that food stamp weight, maybe about 15, 20 pounds. Eating the food stamps, but still working. I did secure another job, but I actually lost, 30, 40,000 a year in my salary taking that job, but we had to keep something coming in. And, I just remember that time, and I know it's a lot of people out there dealing with that now with all this COVID stuff going on, So is it something you would tell people, like looking back at it, what really encouraged you to keep moving and get out of it? Every day wasn't pretty. I remember we were going through
it was, for me, myself, I've been working since I was 15. So being off for 6 months, that was an issue for me. It just didn't sit well with me. Even though I was going on interviews and I was, I was actively searching for a job, nothing just really came through. I think I don't know, it was something weird going on during 2009, 2010. I wasn't fortunate enough to find a job during those 6 months. So what I suggest that you guys do is probably go to school or start thinking about something that you're passionate about. For those of you that have been affected by COVID-19, start, searching and thinking of things that you may be interested in, because that hobby that you love to do, that can turn into a business. So I would suggest that.
No, that's good advice, especially now with all these online courses and, information is accessible to you, pretty much anywhere on the internet. So whatever skill set a person has, I think that's a great idea that they can go after it, go get that certification, get them 6 months worth of, credentials under them, and still maybe do some part-time work here and there as opportunities present themselves. But I think that's a great advice. So then I remember, just kind of bringing people up to where we are at this point. So got the job. That entire year I was working for a law firm that I was not happy about working at necessarily. You ended up working there, in another department. And, then I ended up finally getting on something a little bit closer to where I was looking for salary wise. But I remember writing down some specific goals and things I talk about a lot, how I wrote down like 6 specific goals with timelines. And one of them was to get married to you. One of them was to get a job paying me more than, 70, 80 grand a year. And of course, getting on my credit together and things like that. Do you remember that period of time? This is right around the time where I was getting ready to leave the one law firm and I went to start working at Title Masters. So that was the end of 2010, beginning of 2011.
I do remember that time. I would like to say that was a good time from you transitioning from that previous position going into the title world. That was a good time. So yeah, I remember you making plans for us to get our credit. We actually had to file bankruptcy. So we filed bankruptcy in 2008. So we were working on those things. Even though we filed bankruptcy, and you are reestablishing your credit during that time, we weren't bad with reestablishing our credit. We just had to make sure that we made a budget and stick to it. But yeah, that was an exciting time for us, even though it was like new beginnings.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. I remember that Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve weekend, 2010, we decided, we're going to start off 2011 right. We went ahead and got married at the beginning of the year. The job kicked in. So things were starting to, a little bit come together financially. We were able to get a lot of our debts paid down and actually start saving some money towards actually buying a house, which we ended up buying a house in 2011, by the summer of that year. So that is, something I encourage couples out there. We just explained how we got both laid off. We ended up filing, for bankruptcy, getting food stamps, going through these different job situations, not finding jobs right away, but still within the course of a year, maybe 13, 14 months, you start seeing things are getting better. We got married. We were paying our bills better. We were recovering from the bankruptcy and really starting to focus on our goals. Where do we want to go? Where do we want to go with our life? And what could we do? So what happened next? We got married. We bought the house. What was that time like for you? Yeah, buying the house.
It was scary. It was scary. I would say, you guys, if you're get you an agent that's going to communicate with you. That's all I have to say. This was our first time buying a house. We didn't know what to expect. We really didn't have much direction on what to expect when purchasing a home. So we toured the homes that we wanted ourselves without the agent. And, but yeah, I'm not going to go into all of that, but
you're an agent. I know you go with your people when you go look at properties now. You go with them, show the properties, stuff like that, right?
Yes, I am trying not to be like the agent that helped us with our first house.
Okay. Anyway, so what happened? That was an exciting time. We found a house. Okay.
So yeah, it was an exciting time. We found a house. That was our first home purchase. It was right after the market had crashed. So I think they were giving some type of incentive back then, but we had just missed that. So we were still able to find a home that was, very reasonable for us. But yeah, that was a great time. It was a nice little 3-bedroom ranch style home, 1 car garage. And I really miss that house.
Yeah, I love that house. I was back in Lithonia, Georgia. Backyard, right. We could go out and look at Stone Mountain, sun setting. Beautiful place, especially for our first home. That was nice.
Yes, for sure.
But I remember about that time, and I'm gonna share this with the guys out there, particularly, or females. But my credit still wasn't where it needed to be. Latasha had gotten her scores up, after the bankruptcy. I was still bouncing back. I hadn't got my numbers up. Her numbers were better. Income wise, we were again starting to bounce back. But I remember feeling a certain kind of way because I could not get my name on the note because my credit score was too low and we wouldn't have been approved for it. And so it was an interesting time as a young man who had always had his name on, the lease and everywhere I've been, to be able to say, okay, I'm about to buy a house and my name's not on the note. It made me feel a certain kind of way. But I'm telling you, I would not change that looking back at it because that's why we're a partnership, because you're doing better and I'm not. So if you can help us get in there, then that's what we needed to do. And that allowed me the time to get my credit score right. So when we got the next house and stuff like that. So, fellas, ladies out there, if one of your spouses is not ready from a bankable situation, not credit worthy, look at your personal situation. Can you get it done and get you save the day for your family, get your family in that house and y'all continue to build up your scores, for the other person. Because that could have been a critical moment. We could have ended up staying in an apartment if I would have been too stubborn on that, but we were able to.
Right. And the rent that we were paying in that apartment was it was about $600 more than the mortgage payment. But I was about to I know it was about it was
about $500 more almost. Yeah.
I think it was probably more than that. But anyway, what I was about to say is, it is okay for one partner to be on the deed. That's how you guys can establish more wealth. Everything doesn't have to be in both partners' names. Okay. That's how most nationalities build wealth, because they will buy a house in one person's name and then they'll buy an investment property in the other person's name. And that's exactly what we did when we moved to where did we move to? Austin. Austin. So when we moved to Austin in 2014, Victor, he's just too much, y'all. So he's very optimistic, and he heard this commercial on the radio saying, do you want to invest in real estate? If so, come to this meeting. So he comes to me and say, hey, let's go to this meeting. I'm like, what kind of meeting? He's like, it's an investment. He said that, well, it's an investment, a real estate investment meeting. I said, okay, well, we'll go. So we ended up at this meeting in Austin, Texas, and we ended up signing up. And you guys, never mind. So
say it. That's what we're sharing. This is what people go through as couples.
So we ended up investing $500 or $600 to join this program that will help guide you into purchasing residential units for you to buy and hold. Y'all, I was so scared to invest that $500, $600, and I was just like, oh God, this has to work. So we invested. We ended up taking a 3-day class, weekend class, and we learned as much as we could. Now, with this particular program, there are levels and tiers to each program. So we took in all the information that we could that weekend and said, we're not going to be able to afford this next tier, so let's just learn all we can and go out and find a property. So that's what we did. It took us 30 days to find an investment property, and it was an older home. Well, no, it wasn't. It was built in 2000 something. Anyway,
yeah, I think 05 maybe.
Yeah, it was probably a few years old. So we invested in that. The house was messed up. The floors was messed up. They had left an abandoned dog in there, so it was kind of like a little stench. So we invested in getting it cleaned up, and we held on to it for 2 years. So you want to finish the rest?
Yeah, that time. So we went to that weekend class, learned what we could. And again, I had the same attitude you had, which was I just gave these people $500. I'm not losing this $500 no matter what. And so that was really just my motivation at that time, is to make that $500 back. And so, at that time, I don't know if I slept 2-3 hours a night for the next 90 days, just because I was just trying to consume so much information and follow the steps that were needed to be successful. I didn't want to let you down. I didn't want to let the kids down. I didn't want to, let myself down. I've been the guy that has pursued almost every type of investment over the years. And it's like, man, this has got to work. I'm finally at the age, I got a few dollars. My credit's finally getting good. So anyway, we were able to find that deal. We went through maybe a couple of different realtors at the time that helped. And one of them, we actually ended up enjoying, Sean Trejo, who's out there on Facebook. Sean is a tremendous, great asset to us down in the San Antonio, if you're looking for a realtor down there. But he helped us find a property. We found a rehab team. We followed the steps that we learned those 2 days, and we closed on that deal within 90 days. And it's so funny now, because now with the clients that we're teaching, through Nico Down Projects, we're able to teach people the same process. Of course, we were able to make it streamlined, to make it a little bit easier than having to spend $5,000, $15,000, or $25,000 to learn this stuff. But anyway, we closed on that deal in 90 days. And as you said, I think I pulled maybe $7,000 out the 401k, maybe $7-8 is all I had at that time. And maybe another $5,000 that we had saved, put that together, and we put that in towards rehabbing the house and the closing costs. And 2 years later, when we sold the house, we were able to sell it for $133,000. So when you look at all the numbers, it ended up being like, 33, almost 300% return on that $12,000. So it was a tremendous blessing. And I got to publicly thank you for your patience during that time. And, it turns out that, we continue to do that over and over again. And now you're a professional realtor and all that. But that was the first deal. That was the first deal. We would love any comments, questions, anybody out there, if you have questions about this story or how you can get into your own real estate investing deal, reach out. My website's here, talk about that. But that was an interesting time. How did you feel when we actually started becoming landlords?
It felt good because that property was cash flowing about $300 a month. So that was pretty good. And I just want to touch back on the return on investment portion. So that was a 300% return on investment in just 2 years, just 2 short years. We gained 300% return on investment on that property. So when you're buying properties, you're buying so that you can build that equity, right? You don't want to just buy it unless it's your perfect dream home. You're going to buy these houses and you're going to turn it over. That's the goal. And I mean, since then we have bought how many more? 4 or 5?
Like 7, 8, honestly, over the years, about 7 or 8 of them. And, it's just, continuing to follow that system, the system. And, I would encourage real estate investors or aspiring real estate investors, stick to the numbers. Don't walk in these houses and imagine this as your dream home for you to move into.
Right.
This is an investment property. Now, obviously, you want to get it fixed enough to where your tenants are comfortable. It's safe. They're happy bringing their family over to visit them and maybe got a yard to play with their dog and their kids. But it's not the home that you're putting granite countertops and chandeliers and, laminate, all this, fine, stuff in the floors and all that. This is a place to make it clean, comfortable, safe for your tenants and make sure that the numbers look good for you to be able to make some money. So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You want to make it turnkey and you want to make it clean and comfortable, like you said.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah.
So that was that journey. So that got us to our first rental property. I think within a year of that, we bought another house down in Austin that we ended up moving into and later renting it out. Talk about your journey, though. What prompted you to even become a real estate agent at this point now, and just talk about that whole real estate journey for you.
Well, since we had started buying the homes and renting those homes out, I figured, hey, I might as well represent us on some of these transactions. So that was the reason, that was my goal, to try to eliminate any costs. But we haven't bought any properties since I've been a realtor. So we haven't bought anything, but we are planning to purchase something at the end of this year. Hopefully it will be a multi-unit deal. So
your motivation was to be the agent on those deals in Texas that we were closing as the agent. That was just smart, yes. Very smart.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that was my motivation. So now I've been I'm working with a couple of buyers right now. So right now it's just, this market is very, very competitive right now. It is a seller's market. Interest rates are extremely low. So you guys, if you are looking to purchase a home this year, go ahead and reach out to your agent or reach out to me, preferably me. The interest rates are extremely low, and like I said, these homes are flying off the market, so it's very low inventory right now. So
yeah, I would encourage anybody nationwide to refinance their house too if they are comfortable already in the house. You got some equity. This is the time where I can remember 5, maybe 7 years ago, where if you had an interest rate of 5% on your home, people were jealous. They were like, holy cow, how'd you get your rate so low? They probably thought you had a 15-year mortgage instead of a 30-year mortgage. Well, now 5%, man, people will spit on you because of that number being so high. And the rates are, at 3%, 2.98% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. If you have equity in your home, which means that if you have purchased a home and your note is far, far less than what that house is worth right now, then there's some cash that you can take advantage of, and not only getting cash out of that, but lowering your monthly mortgage payment, because now that loan is cheaper than it was before. These interest rates are making your loan so much cheaper. So yeah, we wanted to kind of share a little bit of that story with you. So now we bring you present day. You are an agent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. What are some challenges that you're seeing out there? Some of your clients, what can help you help them, whether they're selling or buying a home in the Dallas market?
Well, if you're buying, make sure that you have your finances together. Make sure you know what your credit score is, and know the type of home that you want to buy, so that we can eliminate some of the running around, going back and forth, trying to figure out what it is that you want. So have all of those things clear. Make sure you have your W-2s ready, the last 2 years of your W-2s. Make sure you have those things ready, so that when we do go under contract and the lender asks for those things, you will already have it available. And you really need to be having a lender that's going to pre-qualify you or do pre-underwriting before we even go under contract. So make sure you just have some of those things together. And as a seller, be ready for multiple offers. Be ready for multiple offers, because every home that I submitted a contract under has been in a multiple offer situation. So like I said, these homes are flying off the market. So
wow,
just be prepared for it.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. So that sounds like great guidance. I mean, at the end of the day, who wants to be going to look for a house to buy and they don't even have the ability to make an offer, which means that you've got to have that pre-approval ready. So talk to your lenders, speak with, your mortgage lender to make sure you have that pre-approval. Then call Latasha. She can show you some properties that fit your criteria based on what you all talked about in that initial buyer's, sign up agreement situation. And then you guys go out and look for that property, and you can make an offer that day because you got the pre-approval. She'll draft the contract, boom, and now she's using her expertise to get you in front of that seller with the best offer possible. And it's not always necessarily the most money. Sometimes you could do different things within the negotiation that may encourage the seller to take your offer over somebody else's, I'm sure. So cool. Absolutely. This is good stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else you want to share with these good people?
I don't know. What you got?
That's all I get. I just wanted to take 30 minutes or so. You know, we were filling in. I appreciate you jumping in. Laquita's out there. She got her son, David. This cat is, if you hadn't seen him online, working out, doing his football practices, this dude is definitely heading somewhere with his career. So she's out there making sure that he gets attention and that he gets the exposure he needs so that he can get into college as a student athlete. So we appreciate you. Big shout out to Laquita Monley out there. M5 Real Estate Solutions. Yep. So
good luck to you guys, Laquita and David. I'm sure he's good. I've seen his videos on Instagram. So
that boy bad. I mean, assuming hopefully we still have sports here, you know, if everything is safe and all that. Anyway, that's another topic. So no, I just wanted to inspire some folks out there. If anybody, you know, I know it's a lot of couples out there that are working together to, you know, elevate your life. You know, if you live in a certain area and your kid is an athlete or a student scholar athlete, and, you know, unfortunately, the way it works, we got to put them in the right communities, in the right school districts so they can be seen. And that might require mom and dad to improve their credit, to increase their income so that they can get qualified for houses that are in these school districts that are getting the exposure. You know, that's part of what we have to do at times as parents. And so if you're out there, and, you know, I'm hoping that we have inspired you. We went through it all. I still don't have a college degree. We filed bankruptcy. I've been laid off. My wife's been laid off, filed bankruptcy. You know, all of this stuff has happened to us, and we've still been able to start our businesses, buy some property, and we're working daily to continue to build a legacy for our kids and grandkids. And so I'm so happy you were able to join me today. This is too cool.
Well, thank you for having me. I definitely enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
I should do this more often, huh?
Yes, we should.
I think I'm considering doing something, so I'll keep you posted.
All right. Let's see here. We got Mrs. Valerie K. Lewis has said, Latasha, do you recommend selling a home that has no mortgage now with the pandemic?
It depends on your financial situation. Do you need the money? If not, then just hold on to it. It's just my thoughts.
That's good advice. Hold on to the property. Obviously, depends on your market too. But yeah. It's cash flowing for you. So, I mean, that's just going to be extra money for you each month. Or if you want to just go ahead and take that lump sum, you can do that as well. So it's totally up to you, Miss Valerie K. Good question. We appreciate your involvement. So anybody out there, if you have any last minute questions, shoot it to us real quick before we wrap up today. We're going to cut it short. We just wanted to get on here and inspire you with our story, let you know that, you know, there's no obstacles. Anything is possible. And you can continue to become the person you want to be. You can continue to create your future self. But, you know, be willing to make those sacrifices and be willing to, you know, work together. It definitely helps to have somebody on your team that sees the light at the end of the tunnel, just like you do. And they'll push you when you get weak, and you'll push them when they get weak. And that's what I just been so blessed to have you in my life, Latasha. So thank you so much for being my life partner and helping us continue to build what we're building here. And, you know, I look forward to many more days with you.
I'm looking forward as well, love. Oh, I'm getting all bushy on here. Anyway, you guys, like Victor said, whatever challenges you may have, just look at the bigger picture. You know, we've overcome bankruptcy. So we've been through it all. So
layoffs, blended families, transferring to state, you name it, and you know, just got to keep on pushing forward. So thank you all for joining us today. Hope you share, like, comment. Feel free to drop questions into the comments. We'll still be able to see those throughout the week. And next week, we'll be back on track. My co-host, Laquita Monley. But we appreciate you. If you have questions about real estate, you're in the Dallas market or in the North Texas area, reach out to Latasha Johnson. You want to give them your website? I can drop it in here. Latasha.
LatashaJohnson.kw.com. That is LatashaJohnson.kw.com. Yeah, check out my website. Or give me a call. My number is on my website as well. So.
All right, very good. And if you have questions about your credit or you're looking to become a real estate investor, Nico Don Projects, we're very excited. We're at the point of relaunching some online courses. So if you're interested in learning about credit, learning about real estate investing, to becoming an entrepreneur, reach out to our website, nicodonprojects.com, get some more information there. And if you need your help with your credit scores, reach out as well. So that's it. We appreciate your time this evening. Go back to doing what you're doing. Continue to write down your goals and pursue them on a daily basis. And we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Yeah, have a great one. What'd I do? Yeah, I don't know what I'm